Welcome to Before Floor, the pregame edition of Five on the Floor, brought to you by the Five Reasons Sports Network. I'm your host, Jonathan, aka Three Piece Combo. I'm joined by the main man, Mr. Mateo. Doesn't miss a show, Mayorga. Now, we're playing the Chicago Bulls tonight. Miami has a chance to win 3 in a row. But as always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys like, make sure you guys subscribe. And if you're new, like I said, make sure you guys hit that bell notification as well. We got Bruce in the background. Make sure my...
Oh,
Nope, you good. Just got a call. So hopefully that takes the signal there. But like I said, if you guys are new to the channel and you're young and with the family, you want to make sure that your assets are protected, go to markbrownpa.com. That's marcbrownpa.com. Or give them a call, 954-566-5678. You get a free evaluation. Make sure that all your assets are protected if something does happen to you. So like I said, make sure you support your Heat fans. He's a Heat fan. He's based out of South Florida. So if you're in the Florida area, you'll know how the remote stuff works. He'll give you a consultation pretty much anywhere. So like I said, go to markbrownpa.com. That's marcbrownpa.com. Make sure all your assets are protected. Now, if you want to play daily fantasy, we give you guys the picks every single game. Go to prizepicks.com. Use that promo code 5. That's FIVE. Spell it out. And we'll match your initial deposit up to $100. You guys want to make sure, if you're gambling, you want to make sure you get the most out of your money. That free $100 is up to 20 free plays using prizepicks.com. So use that promo code 5, FIVE, double your deposit up to $100. Mateo, we're playing the Chicago Bulls tonight. Zach LaVine has been doing his thing, but Miami has also been doing their thing as well, winning 2 in a row. Actually, the last game is a first time we got a non-clutch victory in a very, very long time. But tonight we're playing the Chicago Bulls with the opportunity to win 3 in a row. So let's get to that, actually. Miami hasn't been able to streak wins very well together this season. We've having a lot of inconsistency going on. But this is the 4th time they're going to have the chance to win 3 in a row. So with that being said, and with the playoffs looming, do you feel like Miami is kind of opening up or becoming better at the right time?
well, it's certainly good that they've won 5 out of their last 8 games, Jonathan. But what has really stood out to me over this last stretch is the Heat's three-point shooting and free throw attempts. For the three-point shooting, they're making over 40% of their baskets from that area, which is second best in the league over that span. And that's really a far cry in difference over what was going on most of the year. And what that does, the deep production, is it opens up some driving avenues to get to the rim, especially when the opponent has to respect you a little better, when they can't sag off or when they close out a little harder. That's why you're seeing guys like Jimmy Butler probably, when the ball's swinging, get to the free throw line a tad bit more. I'll get to the free throw shooting in a second, but before the Heat started really finding their groove from three-point range, I think it was in one of the games against Cleveland where the Cavaliers didn't respect the Heat's three-point abilities against certain players like Victor Oladipo. The Cavs are just giving them open looks. That's certainly not the way the opposing teams want to play the Heat now that they're clicking from that area. But the production from the free throw line has also been tremendous because the league average is closer to 20. And when you're taking 29 a game and making 86%, that is so much farther than, the league average production. And what you're doing is slowing down the game. You're cutting the clock. You're giving your defense a breather, and you're ruining any opportunity the opposing team has of generating some rhythm on offense. And lately, Jimmy Butler has been spearheading that action. In the last game against Memphis, the Heat won. He took 9 free throw attempts in the first quarter. He looks like a running back fracturing a defensive line with incessant rushes. And if the Heat can keep up this deep shooting and attempts at getting into the line, they're going to win a lot more ball games because they're number 1 in the league in close games, 5 games decided by 5 points or fewer. And it's really been a difference of a few possessions.
So there might be a dog in the background, so no big deal there. But Chicago right now is talking about that free throw line. Obviously, Jimmy getting to the paint, getting to the free throws. Chicago is the 5th best team at protecting the paint. What have they been doing right as far as protecting the paint this season to be that good?
Well, Jonathan, the Chicago Bulls defending the pick and roll are very drop heavy. They want to contest the rim first, and they also have some defenders, guys who aren't even reputable with size, like DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, who do a little bit of help in slowing down the ball handlers at getting inside the lane. But they do have 3 other guys in Patrick Beverley, Patrick Williams, and Alex Caruso, who do have success against certain matchups and stopping the ball outside, sometimes without help. That's the reason why the Chicago Bulls opponents take 37 triples per game. They make 35% of them. The Chicago Bulls are a team that would rather the opponent beat them with triples than by gut punches. On opposing drives, what they want to do first is also clog the lane as quickly as possible to make the opposing role players be the ones to light them up. So that's why they're fifth best at protecting the paint.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job with that. But outside of that, they haven't been the team they were last year. Obviously, with the
No.
detrimental health of Lonzo Ball, you'd expect if he were to be healthy, that team would be a lot better. But they're essentially missing their guy, their point guard, and with him being injured, obviously, hopefully that surgery goes well for him. Hopefully they can turn things around. But Zach LaVine has been kind of carrying this team offensively over the last 2 weeks, last 5 games, averaging almost 35 points per game. What has Zach been able to do to be able to get into the scoring outburst, and what can Miami do tonight to slow him down?
Well, he's really scorching because he's really as good as it gets from inside the arc. He's also someone who can hit 3-point shots, which limits your ability to sag off on him. In terms of what you do to bother him, I'm not so sure because over this same span of games where he's averaging 35, DeMar DeRozan is averaging 29 points a game. So, like, I question myself, who do you throw the double team at first? It really depends who the defender is in front of them. But like I said, Zach LaVine is the better 3-point shooter of the two main scorers for Chicago. You can't sag off of him as much, but both of them are excellent at getting to the nail. They can get there at will, which suggests that the Heat are going to have to limit their availability with the 2-3 zone, because the way you beat that coverage is by getting to the middle. That's what forces the backline defenders to come up and collapse, and this is also what exposes the corners. So I'm expecting a lot of man-to-man coverage. When Patrick Beverley is out on the floor tonight, I expect the defender on him to be the one to sag off, because he's only making 31% of his triples on not a high volume either. He's really someone who you can live with any points he scores with. So really, the defender on him can pretty much play free safety to disrupt any inside activity for DeMar DeRozan and especially Zach LaVine, Jonathan.
Let's go ahead and get into the prize picks for tonight game, as Marvin Vittori picks up the W against Roman Dolidze, making sure actually made a move over to Thailand. So interesting to see him get the win now.
Real quick, because you're our fighting expert. Who do you have in the main card? Because the last one with Leon Edwards, I thought Kamaru Usman was kicking his butt. Then he just struck him with a nasty kick. What do you think about that, really quickly?
Yeah, I think Usman gets it done tonight. If I were to take a pick, just because if you want to take it's grappler versus striker, you want to take the grappler most of the time. Sure, Edwards was able to get a takedown, and he's a great takedown defense, or has great takedown defense. But I think if you just want to take the safer pick, you got to go with Kamaru Usman. Sorry, because with the wrestling pedigree, with the way he was dominating, not just the last fight, but the first fight they had, you'd expect Usman to kind of do something similar, or have that same game plan as being able to not just strike, but mix it up as well and take the fight to the ground.
Excellent, my man. Let's get to the prize picks.
Let's get to these prize picks. We got Bam Adebayo on the board. We got Caleb Martin, a little bit of Gabe Vincent, Jimmy Butler. Kevin Love's on there as well. And then we got Max Strus and Tyler Hero. Let's see. And they even got a little bit of Victor Oladipo. So who do you want to open up the board, Vic? Any players catch your eye?
Caleb Martin. Let's see what they got going with him.
Let's see with Caleb. So for Caleb, they have 3 different props. They have the 8.5 points, 14.5 points, rebounds, assists, which is actually not too bad of a prop there, and the half steals, which is solid as well. Any of those props you take or you like?
I want to go over on his points just because the Heat are in such a groove from the offensive end right now. They're even scoring more per game as of late than most of the season. But I could see him hitting a couple of triples, also maybe 1 or 2 fast break jams. But I wouldn't go much higher than that. Definitely over on him. But I think he will spend a lot of time matched up with either DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine to try to slow them down out in the perimeter. But I will go over on Caleb Martin's points for the night.
So last 2 games for Caleb Martin that he's played versus the Grizzlies and versus the Jazz, 11 points and 10 points. So you're gonna hit the over on the last 2 there. So I would go ahead and I'd probably go with you and take the prize picks on that one. So over on the Caleb Martin for the half, or for the 8.5. I'm gonna take a look at Jimmy. I'm curious what his free throws made are. 7.5 free throws made. Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan both aren't necessarily expert or great defenders, but they do have a lot of good defenders. I do think Jimmy Butler is going to go over though. I think Miami's in a spot right now where he has to be the key catalyst as far as offensively, and
Mhm.
that's how things will get going from outside. Like that's how he's going to be able to open up other shooters. I think if Jimmy can get into the paint, get those free throws going, we should get a good one. We got Max Strus, we got Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero. Any of those guys take your liking?
Let's see here. What does it say on is that 28 and a half points or 20?
That's 20.5 points, rebounds,
Oh,
and assists.
oh, it's a little high, but
Yeah, 19.5 on the points, which isn't too bad against
I
the,
think
you know,
I think I will go with that. If the Heat's screening action is doing a good job up top, I could see Hero feasting from the mid range against the drop coverage and also hitting some shots on the wings. So I will go over with Tyler Hero on his points.
absolutely. And those are your three picks. Tyler Hero over on the points, Jimmy over on the free throws, and Caleb Martin over on the points. We got a little Caleb action in there too. Make sure you guys use that promo code 5, F5VE. Double your deposit up to $100 and use the flex play as well, because even if you get one of them wrong, you still get 25% on your money. That's a good investment right there. So like I said, go to prizepicks.com, use that promo code 5. Man, it's prediction time, and I'll start and I'll let you close it out. I do think Miami gets it done tonight. I think Miami has been on a, like you said, a 3-point shooting groove that has just opened things up, not only on the court but off the court as well. Like you see a lot of frustration from Jimmy Butler in the games before, so you've seen a lot of the other things. I think if Miami is able to continue to hit the three, that's a game changer going into the playoffs. Brooklyn is falling right now. If we can escape the play-in and stay on that 6th seed, regardless of who we play in that first round, that's a much better position rather than being in the play-on. Who you got tonight?
Well, Jonathan, I got a Heat win tonight. The Chicago Bulls are the 10th seed in the East. You know, you're there for a reason this late in the season. But again, because they're such a drop heavy team and the way Jimmy Butler is getting it to the line, I believe he will be attacking Nikola Vucevic as often as possible, getting him in foul trouble in his personal matchups. If it's DeMar DeRozan or Zach LaVine or even Patrick Williams, I don't believe they either have the strength or the speed to stay in front of Jimmy. So I got a double digit attempt in free throws for Jimmy Butler at the line tonight, and I think that's what's going to slow the game down and make it really ugly for the Chicago Bulls. So give me a Heat victory on the road.
Yeah, I think Miami takes it well. I think Jimmy, like you said, makes his mark on tonight's game. It's much easier to get to the free throw line. Would you say almost 29 times when Jimmy's doing it about 15? So keep doing your thing, Jimmy Butler. Hopefully Miami's able to get a dub tonight. And yeah, so make sure you guys, like I said, subscribe to the 5 Reasons Sports Network YouTube channel. Make sure you guys like the video, and we'll check you guys out after the game.
Also, catch us on playback too with live commentary. You can also join the stage and ask us questions.
Catch them on playback. Don't forget about that. Mateo with the plug. That's how you finish it off. Have a
Sure.
good one. Let's go Heat.